Would Jon be in the head coaching job for the Giants?
I think he'd be very interested. He loves football. He loves Jackson Dart. If you have a young quarterback as talented like Jackson, you want a guy like Jon that's going to challenge him every day. Does he have some stuff in his background? Maybe he does. But if you want a guy that gets the most out of your quarterback, the most out of your team, then I believe Jon Gruden would be a good fit. Does he want to do it? I have no idea. Now, I know he loves football. He loves the coach. If given the opportunity, if he's...
How wild is this whole situation turning out to be? A former coach popping back up like he's plotting some secret takeover, trying to flip the whole football world on its head. The vibe is sneaky, bold, and kind of unbelievable. Why is he suddenly reaching for a job that already belongs to someone else? And what's the real reason he's so focused on Shedeur Sanders out of nowhere? There's a hidden agenda sitting right under the surface, and once it cracks open, things get even crazier. Picture this: a retired coach waking up one morning, checking out the chaos going on in the league, and saying, yeah, let me go shake things up real quick.
NFL coach Jon Gruden wants Kevin Stefanski's job, and he wants Shedeur Sanders to be his starting quarterback. Former NFL coach Jon Gruden. Well, Jon Gruden went on record and said that he would like to coach in New York or Cleveland. Now, we know New York coaches up out of there. Now, there's another coach that is in the hot seat more than any other coach in the entire National Football League, and that is Cleveland's own.
Like he's treating Cleveland's franchise drama like a toy snow globe and giving it a hard spin. That's exactly how this whole thing feels. Out of thin air, Jon Gruden's name slides back into the NFL conversation like someone reheated an old storyline from years ago and decided to serve it again. And the second people hear his name, it comes with the wildest twist. He wants Kevin Stefanski's job so he can take over and coach Shedeur Sanders. Yes, Shedeur.
To all of Cleveland Dog Pound Nation, that he will not be playing Shedeur Sanders. He will remain keeping Dillon Gabriel as the starting quarterback. Now, we all know people from land to land, coast to coast, is pissed off with this news, bro, because he wrapped up a press conference today, and he stated once again he will not be playing Shedeur Sanders. Now, let's pull up this Jon Gruden post, man. So this is the post right here that is making headlines. That is former NFL coach Jon Gruden said, I could turn that thing around, that entire franchise around.
The quarterback who hasn't even stepped into the Browns facility yet, but is already being treated like he's the final hero Cleveland's been praying for. Cleveland football stays dramatic, unpredictable, and emotional. It flips moods faster than a late-night group chat. And now Gruden is supposedly eyeing the Browns like it's some Black Friday deal he refuses to miss. But here's the craziest part. He's not out here hinting, not testing the temperature, not saying something soft like, maybe I'll take a look, or, hey, I'd be open to an advisor spot. Nope. The man is acting like he's ready to step right in and claim the whole throne. He didn't even slide in with a simple, hey guys, remember me? Not even close. Instead, he reportedly tossed out the idea that he'd love to coach again. In New York or Cleveland. New York right now is basically a blender with the lid off, and Cleveland, well, Cleveland stays doing Cleveland things. So the football world connected the dots and instantly started packing imaginary boxes for Stefanski, like he was already being shipped out with fragile, stamped on every side. And honestly, the numbers aren't adding up, but the comedy is unreal because Kevin Stefanski is sitting on the hottest hot seat ever invented. The man can't even walk to his car without fans breathing down his neck like they're trying to fog up his visor.
To even be able to give the answer to that, I feel like it's not in my control. So I'm not even going to think about that or have that even in my thought process of why it is. Like, there's a lot of people that want to have the opportunity to be at this level, and I'm here, and I'm thankful to have the opportunity. So whenever that is, it is. But it doesn't make me feel down, or it doesn't make me feel left out or anything, because I know who I am as a person, I know who I am as an individual, and I know.
He benched Shedeur before Shedeur was even officially in the building. He doubled down on Dillon Gabriel like somebody overplaying a weak hand at a blackjack table. He stared a whole city of stressed out, diehard fans in the face and basically said, I'm not playing Shedeur Sanders, I'm sticking with Dillon forever. Meanwhile, the entire Cleveland fan base is outside acting like characters in a dramatic fantasy movie screaming, you will play him, you must play him, bring him forth. But what does Stefanski do? He strolls into a press conference like nothing is on fire, sits down calm as ever, and repeats himself word for word. He says he's not playing Shedeur, and he's riding with Dillon Gabriel as the starter. The audacity, the confidence, the stubbornness. It feels like this man is daring the universe to walk in and hand him a pink slip right on the podium. And this is where everything explodes, because once that press conference ended, Cleveland media didn't just react, they straight up detonated on live TV. They started melting down like a group therapy session that got hijacked by stress and caffeine. You had people pointing fingers, rolling their eyes, waving their arms like they were trying to guide traffic, and speaking from the deepest level of sports frustration. It was pure chaos with microphones.
Brian Daboll was like, you know what? I might lose my job. Here, Jackson Dart. Like, if you think you're going to lose your job, you do move off of the Cats. So Shedeur Sanders is Kevin Stefanski's ace in the hole. The reason Stefanski's not playing Shedeur in my mind is because his job is safe. James, I look at it like this. Jimmy Haslam, Kevin Stefanski, they're on one accord. Andrew Berry, general manager, he views it differently.
Then one analyst went full Shakespeare mode, shouting about situational awareness, sack-taking sins, and game-ending catastrophes, while trying not to laugh at how wild the whole meltdown looked on camera. And the wildest part wasn't even the yelling. It was somebody trying to defend Dillon Gabriel like he was some rare museum piece that needed protection. He's only a third-round rookie, they said, sounding offended like someone insulted their family. He's only played 5 games, they cried, acting like those 5 games weren't a whole highlight reel of questionable choices and split-second panic. They kept calling him unlucky. But in this situation, unlucky apparently means taking sacks faster than someone can say, "Field goal unit, hurry!" Imagine trying to defend a quarterback using the line. He was lucky to get that kickoff.
He's not playing Shedeur Sanders because he's keeping his job. We asking the wrong question. He's not playing Shedeur Sanders, it's because his job is safe. The only way you can get away with handling this quarterback situation as egregiously as he's handling the quarterback situation, continuing to play Dillon Gabriel, even though the offense has no spark, even though you're losing to the Jets and Justin Fields, even though Dillon Gabriel is airmailing now screens, is because you know you're safe.
Lucky as in divine intervention. Lucky as in the kicker sprinted onto the field like an Olympic relay anchor, just to beat the clock by half a heartbeat. At that point, everyone arguing sounded like they'd been awake for 2 days straight, running on caffeine and heartbreak. And then, right in the middle of the chaos, here comes Jon Gruden. Not walking, not easing in, popping up like a surprise cameo nobody asked for. Yet somehow, everybody suddenly can't stop talking about Cleveland right now feels like a shopping cart with one broken wheel, wobbling down the aisle, and Gruden is acting like he's the only guy in the whole country who knows how to push it straight. The comment section lit up instantly. People were going off. Some were giving this man applause, others were roasting him like a barbecue, and a few were typing things that should never be repeated for the sake of everyone's sanity. But none of it mattered. The spark had already hit the gasoline. Next thing you know, folks are picturing Jon Gruden rolling into Cleveland with a giant playbook under one arm and Shedeur Sanders under the other, like he's unveiling a secret new weapon. Some fans are already calling Shedeur the future savior before the man even steps on the field. Others are tossing around trade rumors like they're handing out candy. And Cleveland's fan base? They're more divided than a Thanksgiving table after somebody drops a controversial topic.
Coaching, is that something that you want to get back into?
I miss it. I'm scratching that itch, though, right here. I would like one more chance to do it because I thought we had that team on the right trajectory. We were 3-0. We beat 3 straight playoff teams, and I thought we had a good young team. And it really crushes me to see how everybody went different directions real fast. So deep down, I'm kind of hoping someday I get a chance, but I'm definitely not counting on anything. So
Meanwhile, Stefanski is moving around like he already knows the end of his story is loading. The way he's coaching, it's like he's mentally packing cardboard boxes while calling plays. Analysts are even saying his name is floating around for other jobs. And not the big ones either. Not head coach gigs, not even top-tier coordinator spots. We're talking side hustles, backup roles, the type of jobs you only apply for when you know your main gig is basically toast. Someone on ESPN even said, "I think he's finally unhappy." Finally? This man has looked stressed since week 2. His sideline face says, "I'm totally pretending this is fine," while his eyes scream, "Get me out of here." Fans are split. Some swear he's sinking the ship on purpose. Others think he's just done fighting the battle. And honestly, if your whole city is yelling about a quarterback you refuse to play, at some point you probably think, if they fire me, at least I get some time off. Here's the real twist. Fans are now openly demanding Cleveland play Shedeur if the next game goes bad. They're not hinting, not suggesting, they're declaring it.
Ruin them. I mean, I know that's the whole thing. Like, what quarterback are we going to ruin next year and all this kind of stuff. The difference this year for me is that this season is gone. It's lost. And you already know that the first rookie you tried to put out there is clearly not it. And it's not even a matter of him not being ready. I just don't think he's capable, period. There's no amount of time, practice, experience that's going to suddenly make him capable.
And after losing to the Jets, the NFL's universal "oh no" measuring stick, people are convinced Shedeur should have already been out there. They're calling the Jets' loss the final warning, the last straw, the cosmic sign from the football heavens. Because the Jets are that team. If you lose to them, your whole franchise starts hearing spooky stadium whispers like, "Play Shedeur, play him. Don't test your luck. Play him now." And somehow, Stefanski still refuses. That's why fans are spiraling into pure desperation. You've got people shouting, "Bench Dillon," others yelling, "Play both quarterbacks." And then there's one guy straight up saying, "Trade Shedeur if you're not going to use him." Like Cleveland just casually trades quarterbacks they haven't even committed to yet. The frustration in Cleveland is on another level right now, but the comedy is even bigger because while the whole fan base is melting down, Jon Gruden is somewhere circling the city like a hawk waiting to swoop in the second that coaching seat cracks open. All he needs is one more loss.
Will he do that? Would he accept the job, in your opinion, like in Arkansas?
I think he
wherever?
would, probably.
Would he
I think there's a lot of teams that could use his services. He's a great coach and a great guy, and just has a great passion for the game. And I think, given the opportunity, he would probably do it. I can't speak for him, but I would.
One more fourth quarter disaster. One more post-game speech from Stefanski that sounds like he's narrating his own farewell tour. Fans are chanting Shedeur's name like he's some prophecy waiting to be fulfilled. Analysts keep bringing him up like he's the cure for every problem. And somehow, some way, Jon Gruden has become the name tied to this whole quarterback revolution like he's ready to lead a movement. Just imagine the headlines. Gruden arrives in Cleveland, immediately declares Shedeur the future, the present, and maybe the mayor. It sounds wild. But at this point, Cleveland media is hanging on by threads thinner than the Browns' playoff chances. Every day brings a brand new rumor. Every day another meltdown hits live TV. Every day someone is yelling about sacks, bad play calling, or why the backup quarterback deserves a promotion like a student getting bumped up to varsity. But nothing is crazier than watching an entire city argue nonstop about a quarterback who hasn't even taken a single snap yet.
horribly yesterday. I just don't think he played very well either. And 5 starts in, I am mystified at how we've not seen, for the supercomputer, I'm mystified how we've not seen the game slow down for him or him grow any more comfortable. He either can't see it or just doesn't see it. And I don't know what the difference is, meaning like if you can't see it because you just don't actually view the field very well versus you just don't see it because you're panicked. I guess you'd want it to be the latter thing, but...
Meanwhile, a former NFL coach who isn't even part of the organization is out here acting like he's running a campaign, basically saying, I will personally bring Shedeur to greatness. That's not normal. That's not almost normal. That's Cleveland energy at its finest. Sooner or later, somebody's going to have to make a real decision. Either keep getting dragged by the football gods or finally unleash the quarterback everyone refuses to stop talking about. Half the fan base already treats Shedeur like he's some kind of superhero flying in to save the whole franchise. The Browns have 7 or 8 games left, depending on how much emotional damage people are counting. And the margin for error is thinner than a preseason roster cut. If they drop the next one, the pressure is going to hit a dangerous level. Fans will demand Shedeur like he's the cure for every problem in the universe, from bad quarterback play to slow Wi-Fi. But here's the truth. Nobody wants to say out loud, if Cleveland keeps losing, they're boxed in. Either play Shedeur or watch the whole city mentally implode like a soda can getting crushed in a hydraulic press. And if Stefanski still refuses, you already know someone is going to scream into the sky, trade him then, trade Shedeur, don't let him sit behind Dillon another minute. Imagine that. Trade rumors swirling around a quarterback who hasn't even officially started. Only Cleveland could reach that level of dramatic chaos and make it feel normal. Meanwhile, the whispers keep getting louder and louder. Gruden wants the job. Gruden wants Shedeur. Gruden thinks he can fix everything. Gruden believes he's the key to flipping the whole franchise into something new. And if Stefanski keeps stacking losses, that door cracks open wider every week. This whole situation has reached maximum comedy and maximum pressure at the same time. Everyone is craving change. Real change, especially the kind that includes Shedeur Sanders slinging footballs like he's casting spells on the field. And if anyone doubts how serious the city is, all they need to do is listen. Cleveland may not know who's coaching next month. They may not know who's starting next week. But one thing they absolutely know is, we coming. This city is hungry for a spark. If Cleveland had a slogan right now, it wouldn't be believe in the Browns. It would be something closer to brace yourself.
Stefanski's not mentioning Shedeur's name, and Rizzo today dropped the P-bomb. And if you watched yesterday's show, we dropped the P-bomb. We said that. That was the bet. Good work, guys. Good work, team.
Every time I go on the internet, all I see is a bunch of dudes sitting around going, why are you not playing Shedeur, and why are you about it? Like they're playing the soundbite. He won't even say his name. He won't even say his name. What is that?
because every 24 hours, another twist explodes. One moment, the media is arguing about sacks, and the next, fans are demanding Shedeur like he's a mythical figure holding the key to eternal victory. And somehow, in the middle of this tornado of emotion, confusion, and straight-up desperation, the Browns still have to play real football games that actually count. The funniest part? The whole team is acting like none of this madness is even happening. Stefanski is staring into cameras with the calm energy of a man who has already mentally moved to a beachfront resort, sipping something cold. The players are shrugging like, "Look, man, this is above my pay grade." And the front office? They're sitting in the shadows doing absolutely nothing while the fan base tries to summon Shedeur through pure willpower like they're performing some kind of ritual. Meanwhile, the Jon Gruden rumors keep sprouting legs, arms, wings, the whole skeleton at this point. Some insiders are even claiming Gruden already has a playbook sketched out with Shedeur Sanders' name written across the top in Sharpie like he's been preparing for this moment. Fans are picturing Shedeur walking onto the field in slow motion with dramatic music blasting while Gruden draws up plays like he's decoding ancient hieroglyphics. Cleveland loves this kind of chaos. They don't just tolerate it, they feast on it. No team delivers drama as consistently as the Browns. It's like their front office has a secret button labeled chaos mode, and somebody keeps leaning on it every 10 minutes. And the wildest part?
We're coming out to be open, and he still didn't see it. Just eyes down, pulls the ball down, and tries to run for his life when there's no need to run for your life. But we're told that this is a supercomputer. This is a sad facsimile of what quarterback play should be. I am sick and tired of it. For his own good, for my health, for your sake, for your emotions, because you watch the game completely different from me. This has to end.
The Browns could end all this mayhem instantly by doing one simple thing. Just play Shedeur Sanders. That's it. Problem solved. Pressure gone. Fan base chill. Rumors calm down. Chaos reset. But nope. Instead, they stay locked in on Dillon Gabriel like he's part of some experimental project nobody else understands. The whole city is screaming for clarity, begging for change, and Cleveland's front office is acting like the plot makes perfect sense. One simple decision could flip the entire franchise mood, but they keep choosing the long, complicated, dramatic route every single time. Every mistake Dillon makes gets magnified like it's being shown on a giant movie screen. One bad throw turns into, "See, this is why we need Shedeur." Every sack becomes a heated debate. Every incomplete pass transforms into some deep philosophical crisis, like the whole franchise is questioning its purpose. And if the Browns drop one more game, oh, it's done. The calls for Shedeur won't just get louder. They'll turn into full-blown marches. Local radio stations are about to melt their phone lines from nonstop fans calling in. People will show up outside practice holding signs like, "Play Shedeur or we riot." Cleveland is teetering on the edge of sports anarchy, and deep in the shadows of all this chaos, Jon Gruden is probably somewhere smirking. He knows the second Stefanski slips again, the whole city might roll out a red carpet for his return, because whether Gruden ever gets that job or not, the message is already crystal clear. Cleveland wants Shedeur. The fans demand Shedeur. The drama practically begs for Shedeur. And the city? Oh yeah, the city is fully locked in and ready for him to take over. So what happens next? Does Stefanski finally give in? Does Shedeur step into the spotlight? Or does Cleveland spiral even deeper into football madness? Let me know what you think in the comments. Make sure to like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you on the next one.